Hey, stop scrolling for just 1 second.
Yes, just 1 second. We promise it's worth it.
Have you ever had one of those days where nothing big happened, but somehow, by the end of it, you felt completely exhausted?
Or maybe you're brushing your teeth right now. Maybe you're on a bus. Maybe you're lying in bed and you just want to hear some calm, friendly English before you fall asleep.
Wherever you are, welcome. I'm Ethan.
And I'm Mia. Let's begin.
If this is your first time listening to us, welcome to the family. We speak slowly, we speak clearly, and honestly, we just love talking.
This episode is for English learners around the B1 to B2 level, so intermediate. But really, anyone can listen. We're not going to teach grammar today.
No grammar rules, no worksheets. Just two friends talking about ordinary life, the small things, the stuff that fills up most of our actual days.
Exactly. Mornings, food, weather, weekends, little memories, the kind of English you actually hear when real people talk to each other.
So just relax. Let your mind slow down. You don't have to understand every single word. Just let the sound of English wash over you for a while.
Let's go.
Okay, so Mia, how did you sleep last night?
Honestly, not great. I went to bed late again.
Again, this is becoming a pattern.
I know. I told myself one more episode of the show I'm watching, and then I'll sleep.
One more episode. That's the most dangerous sentence in the English language.
It really is. And then suddenly it's midnight, and I'm still sitting there with my eyes wide open, watching something I don't even really care about.
I do the same thing, but with my phone. I tell myself, I'm just going to check one message. And then 40 minutes later, I'm looking at pictures of someone's vacation from 3 years ago.
A stranger's vacation from 3 years ago.
A complete stranger. I don't even know how I got there.
That's the internet for you. It just pulls you along one little link at a time, and you don't notice the time passing.
So this morning, when my alarm went off, I just lay there for a minute, staring at the ceiling, thinking, why did I do this to myself again?
Oh, I know that feeling so well. That heavy feeling in your body when you haven't slept enough.
Heavy is the right word. My arms felt heavy. My eyes felt heavy. Even my thoughts felt slow, like they were moving through thick water.
Thick water. That's a good way to describe it.
What about you? How did you get out of bed this morning?
Honestly, my cat helped.
Your cat woke you up?
She sat right on my chest and just stared at me, like, "Excuse me, human, it is time for breakfast."
That's a very direct way to wake someone up.
She doesn't believe in gentle reminders. She believes in sitting on your chest until you get up.
I feel like every cat owner has a similar story.
I think so too. Anyway, once I was up, I made myself a coffee, and that's really when my brain finally turned on.
Coffee is basically a magic potion in the morning.
It really is. I take the first sip, and it's like someone flips a switch inside my head. Suddenly, I can think in full sentences again.
Do you make coffee at home, or do you go out to get it?
At home, usually. I have a small routine. I boil the water, I grind the beans, and while I wait, I just stand by the window and look outside for a minute.
That sounds peaceful.
It is. It's a quiet moment before the day really starts. What about you? Coffee or tea?
Tea, actually. Simple black tea, nothing fancy.
No sugar, no milk?
A little milk, no sugar. My mother always drank her tea that way, so I guess I picked up the habit from her.
That's sweet. Little habits we get from our parents without even realizing it.
Right. I didn't decide to drink tea like that. I just always saw her do it, and now it's simply how I like it.
I do the same thing with how I fold laundry. My mother folds towels a certain way, and so do I, even though I never actually asked her to teach me.
Funny how that works. We copy people without noticing.
So after your tea, what's next in your morning?
I usually check the weather before I decide what to wear.
Oh, the weather here has been so strange lately.
Tell me about it. Yesterday it was warm and sunny in the morning, and by the afternoon it was raining so hard I had to run to find shelter.
Oh, really? I didn't know it rained yesterday.
It poured, really poured. Big heavy drops, the kind that soak your shoes in about 10 seconds.
And did you have an umbrella?
Of course not. I never bring an umbrella on the days I actually need one.
That's the rule, isn't it? If you bring an umbrella, it doesn't rain. If you leave it at home, the sky opens up.
Exactly. It's like the weather is watching us, waiting for the moment we feel confident.
So what did you do? Just run through the rain?
I stood under a shop entrance for a while with a few other people. We were all just standing there, quietly watching the rain together, like a strange little community.
A community of wet strangers.
Exactly. Nobody talked, but there was this shared feeling like we're all in this together.
I love little moments like that. Small connections with strangers that don't need any words.
Me too. And eventually the rain slowed down, and I just walked the rest of the way home, a little wet. But honestly, it wasn't so bad.
Sometimes getting a little wet in the rain isn't the worst thing. It can even feel kind of nice if you're not in a rush.
True. If you're relaxed about it, it almost feels refreshing.
What's the weather usually like where you grew up?
Very different from here. Where I grew up, summers were long and dry, and winters were short but cold. Not much rain at all, actually.
So this constant changing weather here must have been strange for you at first.
Extremely strange. When I first moved here, I couldn't understand why people always carried a jacket, even on sunny days.
And now?
Now I understand completely. Now I'm the person carrying a jacket on a sunny day, just in case.
You've adapted.
I've adapted. What about you? Have you always lived here?
No, actually, I grew up in a small town quite far from the city. It was much quieter there.
What was it like growing up in a small town?
Slow, really slow in a good way. Everyone knew everyone. If you walked down the street, you couldn't go far without someone saying hello.
That sounds nice, actually. A little old-fashioned maybe, but nice.
It was nice, but it was also, well, a little boring sometimes, especially as a teenager. There wasn't much to do.
What did you do for fun back then?
Mostly we just walked around. My friends and I would walk to the small river near the edge of town, sit on the rocks, and just talk for hours.
About what?
Everything and nothing. Our dreams, our worries, silly gossip, what we imagined our lives would look like when we were older.
Did your life turn out the way you imagined back then?
Not exactly. I thought I would live in a big house with a garden by now. Instead, I live in a small apartment with a cat who thinks she owns the place.
Well, the cat is a nice addition at least.
She is. She's basically my roommate who pays no rent and demands breakfast at 7 in the morning.
A tough roommate to negotiate with.
Impossible to negotiate with. What about you? What did you imagine your life would be like?
Honestly, I never had a clear picture. I just knew I wanted to travel a lot, see different places, meet different people.
And have you traveled much?
More than I expected, actually. I've been lucky. I've seen mountains, oceans, big cities, tiny villages.
What's the most memorable place you've ever visited?
That's a hard question, but if I had to choose one, I'd say a small coastal village I visited a few years ago.
Tell me about it.
It was tiny. Maybe a few hundred people lived there. The houses were painted in these bright colors, blue, yellow, pink, right along the edge of the water.
That sounds like a postcard.
It really did look like a postcard. Every morning, I would wake up early, before the sun was even fully up, and just sit by the water with a cup of coffee.
Just you and the ocean.
Just me and the ocean, and the sound of the waves, and sometimes a few fishermen getting their boats ready for the day.
Did you talk to any of them?
A little. My local language skills weren't great, but one older fisherman, he didn't seem to mind. He would just smile, point at the sky, and say something like, "Good day today, good day."
I love that. Sometimes you don't need perfect language to connect with someone.
Exactly. A smile, a nod, a shared cup of something warm. That's often enough.
Did you learn anything from him?
Actually, yes. One morning he taught me how to fold a small paper boat, just for fun, while we waited for the sun to rise.
A paper boat?
A paper boat. He folded it so quickly, like his hands already knew the pattern by memory without even looking. And then he handed it to me and said, "For you."
Oh, that's such a sweet moment.
It was. I still have that little paper boat somewhere in a drawer at home. A bit worn out now, but I can't throw it away.
Some objects just hold memories inside them, don't they? Even something as small as a paper boat.
Exactly. It's not really about the paper. It's about that quiet morning, the ocean, and a stranger who decided to be kind to me for no reason at all.
That's beautiful.
What about you? Do you have an object like that? Something small that holds a big memory?
Actually, yes, I have an old key.
A key to what?
To my grandmother's house. It doesn't open anything anymore. The house was sold years ago, but I kept the key anyway.
Why did you keep it?
Because every time I hold it, I remember her kitchen. The smell of bread baking, the sound of the radio playing old songs, her voice calling me in for lunch.
That's lovely, and a little sad too.
It is both, happy and sad at the same time. I think a lot of memories are like that, actually.
I think you're right. The nicest memories often carry a little bit of sadness with them because we know that moment is gone now.
Exactly. But I'd rather feel a little sad remembering something beautiful than feel nothing at all.
Well said. Okay, let's lighten the mood a little. Tell me about your favorite food. Something simple, something that makes you happy.
Oh, easy, my grandmother's soup.
Which soup?
A simple vegetable soup, nothing fancy, but she always added this one spice that I still can't identify.
You never asked her the recipe?
I did many times, but she always said a little of this, a little of that, and never gave me exact amounts.
That's how a lot of grandmothers cook, isn't it? Everything by feeling, nothing measured.
Exactly. I've tried to make that soup myself so many times, and it's always close, but never quite the same.
Maybe that's on purpose. Maybe some tastes are meant to stay only in memory.
Maybe you're right. What about you? Favorite food?
Honestly, something very simple. Bread with butter and a little salt.
That's it? Just bread, butter, and salt?
That's it. When I was a child, my grandfather used to make this for me whenever I visited him. Fresh bread, real butter, just a sprinkle of salt on top.
Simple things really do taste the best sometimes.
They really do. I've eaten in expensive restaurants, fancy dishes with names I couldn't even pronounce. But nothing beats that simple bread and butter from my childhood.
I completely understand that. Sometimes the best flavor isn't really about the food itself.
It's about who made it for you and why.
Exactly.
Speaking of food, do you cook a lot these days?
A little, but not as much as I'd like. Most weekdays I'm too tired after work, so I eat something quick and simple.
What counts as quick and simple for you?
Eggs, usually. Eggs and toast, maybe some vegetables if I'm feeling ambitious.
Feeling ambitious with vegetables. I like that phrase.
It really does feel like an achievement some nights.
What about weekends? Do you cook more then?
Weekends are different. On Saturday mornings, I like to take my time. I put on some music, maybe make pancakes, and just enjoy not being in a rush.
That sounds like a wonderful way to spend a morning.
It really is. There's something about a slow Saturday morning that feels almost magical. No alarm clock, no rush, just time.
What do you usually do for the rest of your weekend?
It depends. Sometimes I meet friends, sometimes I just stay home and read.
What are you reading these days?
Actually, an old novel my friend recommended. It's about a family living through many years, generation after generation.
Do you enjoy it?
I do. It's slow, but in a good way. Like watching a plant grow, you don't see it move, but eventually you notice how much has changed.
That's a lovely way to describe a book.
What about you? Do you read much?
Not as much as I should, honestly. I start books all the time, but I don't always finish them.
How many unfinished books do you have right now?
Please don't ask me that.
That bad?
At least 5, maybe 6. They're just sitting there on my shelf, judging me quietly every time I walk past.
Books judging you from the shelf, that's a very specific kind of guilt.
It's a very real feeling, though. Every time I look at them, I think, one day, I promise.
Do you ever actually go back and finish them?
Sometimes, months later, out of nowhere, I'll suddenly remember a book I stopped reading, and I'll pick it up again like no time has passed.
And does it feel strange coming back to it after so long?
A little. It's like meeting an old friend again. You have to remember where you left off, but once you do, it comes back quickly.
I like that comparison. A book as an old friend.
What about movies? Do you watch a lot of movies?
More than books, honestly. On a lazy weekend evening, nothing beats a good movie with a blanket and some tea.
What kind of movies do you enjoy?
Anything that makes me feel something, honestly. Sometimes a funny comedy, sometimes something that makes me cry.
You like crying at movies?
Strangely, yes. There's something satisfying about a good cry over a story that isn't even real.
I understand that, actually. It feels safe somehow. You can feel deeply, but you know it will be okay by the end.
Exactly. What about you? Do you have a favorite type of movie?
I like movies about ordinary people doing ordinary things, but somehow told in a way that feels meaningful.
Can you give an example?
There's one I watched a long time ago about a man who just delivers mail in a small town for years and years. And slowly, you see how his small actions actually mattered to so many people.
That sounds gentle.
It was gentle. Nothing exciting happens. No big explosions, no dramatic chase scenes. Just quiet, ordinary kindness over and over again.
Sometimes those are the stories that stay with us the longest.
I agree completely. The loud, exciting movies, I forget most of them within a week. But the quiet ones, somehow they stay in my mind for years.
Okay, before we continue, let's take a short break here. If you're enjoying this slow, calm conversation, please consider subscribing. We post a new slow English podcast every single day, so there's always something new to listen to.
And if you have a moment, leave us a comment. Tell us, what does your ideal lazy weekend morning look like? We would genuinely love to know.
Okay, where were we?
We were talking about movies, quiet ones versus exciting ones.
Right. Let's move to a different topic. Let's talk about hobbies. Do you have any hobbies these days, Ethan?
Actually, yes. I started growing a few plants on my balcony.
Oh, really? I didn't know that about you.
It's a fairly new hobby, maybe 6 months old. At first, I killed almost every plant I touched.
Every single one?
Nearly everyone. I gave them too much water, then not enough water, then too much sunlight, then not enough sunlight. I was quite bad at it.
But you kept trying?
I kept trying, and slowly I learned. Now I have a small tomato plant that's actually growing tomatoes, real ones.
That's wonderful. There's something so satisfying about growing your own food, even just a little bit.
It really is satisfying. Every morning, I go check on my plants before I even make my tea. It's become part of my morning now, actually.
A new little ritual.
Exactly, a new little ritual. What about you? Any hobbies?
I've been doing a bit of painting lately. Nothing serious, just simples watercolors.
What do you paint?
Mostly small things, a cup of tea, a window with rain on it, sometimes just colors mixing together with no clear picture at all.
Do you consider yourself talented at it?
Absolutely not. My paintings look like something a child made, but that's not really the point for me.
What is the point then?
The point is the process. When I'm painting, I'm not thinking about work or bills or anything stressful. My mind just goes quiet, and it's just me, the brush, and the colors.
That sounds meditative.
It really is, in its own simple way. I don't need to be good at it. I just need it to feel calm.
I think that's a healthy way to look at hobbies, actually. Not everything we do needs to have a big result.
Exactly. Not everything needs to be for Instagram or for showing other people. Some things can just be for us.
Speaking of hobbies, do you remember any hobbies you had as a child, something you completely forgot about until just now?
Actually, yes. I used to collect small stones.
Just regular stones?
Regular stones, but ones I thought were special. Shiny ones, unusually shaped ones, ones with strange colors.
Where did you keep them?
In an old shoebox under my bed. I probably had over 100 stones by the time I was 10.
100 stones. That's an impressive collection for a child.
I thought I was rich, honestly. I truly believed some of those stones were valuable.
Do you still have the box?
I actually don't know. It's probably somewhere at my parents' house, forgotten in a closet.
Maybe you should go find it one day.
Maybe I should. It might be a strange kind of time travel, opening that box again after all these years.
What about you? Any forgotten childhood hobbies? I used to draw maps.
Maps of what?
Imaginary places, islands that didn't exist, cities I invented with names I made up myself.
Oh, that's such a creative thing for a child to do.
I would spend hours on it. I'd draw mountains, rivers, little villages, and I'd give each place a whole story in my head.
Do you remember any of the names you invented?
A few, actually. There was one island I called Windmere. I imagined it always had a gentle wind blowing across it.
Windmere? I love that.
I don't know why I stopped doing that as I got older. Life just got busier, I suppose, and there was less time for imagination.
That happens to a lot of us, doesn't it? As children, our imagination runs wild, and slowly as adults, we forget how to just imagine for fun.
I think that's true. Maybe that's something we should bring back into our lives. Even a little.
I agree. Maybe this week, I'll dig out my old stones and you can draw a map again.
Deal. Let's talk about something else now. What about neighbors? Do you know your neighbors well?
A little. There's an older man who lives across the hall from me. We usually just say hello in the hallway, nothing more.
Does he seem friendly?
Very friendly, actually. Sometimes he leaves extra vegetables from his garden outside my door with a little note.
That's kind.
It really is. Last month, he left me a bag of tomatoes with a note that just said, "Too many, please enjoy."
Simple and kind.
Exactly. I baked him some cookies once just to say thank you, and now it's become this quiet little tradition. He gives me vegetables, I give him something baked.
A friendly little exchange without either of you really planning it.
Exactly. What about your neighbors?
Mine are a young family with 2 small children. They're loud sometimes, especially in the evenings, but honestly, I don't mind.
You don't mind the noise?
Not really. I can hear the children laughing sometimes through the walls, running around, playing some kind of game. It actually makes me smile.
That's a nice way to think about it, rather than being annoyed.
I figure one day they'll grow up and the apartment will be quiet again. Might as well enjoy the sound of children laughing while it lasts.
That's a very generous way to see it.
I try. Life is short. No reason to be annoyed by children being children.
Speaking of children, were you a noisy child yourself?
Extremely noisy, according to my mother. Apparently, I never stopped talking.
Never?
Never. She said I would talk to anyone, strangers on the street, our neighbors, even our dog, as if the dog understood every single word.
Did the dog respond?
The dog mostly just wagged his tail and looked confused, but I was convinced he understood everything I said.
That's adorable, honestly.
What about you? Quiet child or noisy child?
Quiet, actually. I preferred watching people rather than talking to them.
Watching them how?
I would just sit somewhere and observe how people walked, how they talked to each other, little details most people don't notice.
That's interesting. Do you think that's why you enjoy painting? Now?
Actually, maybe. I never thought of it that way, but you might be right. Maybe I've always been someone who watches quietly and notices small details.
I think that's a beautiful quality to have.
Thank you. Okay, let's shift topics again. Let's talk about something we're both grateful for these days. Something small, nothing big or dramatic.
Small and simple. Let me think.
Take your time.
Okay, I've got one. I'm grateful for the walk I take every evening after dinner.
Tell me about it.
It's nothing special, really. I just walk around my neighborhood for about 20 minutes. No destination, no purpose, just walking.
What do you think about during that walk?
Sometimes nothing at all, which honestly feels really good. Other times I think about my day or plan tomorrow a little.
Do you walk the same route every time?
Mostly, yes. I like passing the same houses, seeing the same little garden with the bright red flowers, noticing small changes over time.
Small changes, like what?
Like 1 week, the flowers are blooming, and a few weeks later they're gone. Or someone paints their fence a different color. Small things most people wouldn't even notice.
I love that you notice those tiny details.
It grounds me, somehow. In a world that feels so fast sometimes, that slow evening walk reminds me that some things move at their own gentle pace.
That's beautiful. Okay, my turn. I'm grateful for a phone call I have with my mother every Sunday.
Tell me about that call.
It's usually around an hour long, sometimes more. We talk about everything and nothing, really. Her garden, my week, some show she's been watching.
Does she ever give you advice?
Constantly, whether I ask for it or not.
What kind of advice?
Mostly about eating enough vegetables and wearing a jacket when it's cold, even if I'm already 30 years old.
Mothers never stop worrying, do they?
Never. And honestly, I secretly love it. It makes me feel cared for, even from far away.
That's really touching.
It is. Sometimes in the middle of a busy week, that Sunday call is the thing I look forward to the most.
I think we underestimate these small routines sometimes. A walk, a phone call, a cup of tea by the window. They don't look like much from the outside.
But they hold so much of our actual happiness.
Exactly. Okay, let's talk about something fun now. Tell me about a time something embarrassing happened to you in public.
Oh no, you're really asking me this?
I am. Come on, we're all friends here.
All right, fine. Once at a coffee shop, I tried to open the door, but it was actually a push door, not a pull door.
The classic mistake.
I pulled so hard, nothing happened, and I stood there confused for a few seconds, right in front of a line of people.
What'd you do?
Eventually, a kind stranger just pushed the door open from the other side, looked at me, and smiled very gently, like I was a lost child.
That's painfully relatable, honestly.
I wanted to disappear into the ground. What about you? Any embarrassing moment?
Actually, yes. I once waved enthusiastically at someone across the street, thinking they were my friend.
And?
It was a complete stranger. A stranger who just looked at me, confused, and slowly waved back, probably out of pure politeness.
Oh no.
I just kept walking very quickly, pretending nothing had happened.
Did you ever see that stranger again?
Never, thankfully. But somewhere out there, a person still remembers a stranger who waved at them a little too enthusiastically.
We're all just collecting small, embarrassing moments as we go through life.
Exactly, and honestly, looking back, they become funny stories rather than painful memories.
That's true. Time really does soften embarrassment into humor.
Okay, let's slow down a bit and talk about something calmer. What's a small moment that made you genuinely happy this week?
Let me think. Actually, yesterday, I saw a little kid on the street trying to catch bubbles someone was blowing.
Tell me more.
The child was laughing so hard, chasing every single bubble, even the ones that were clearly too high to reach.
Pure joy, no reason needed.
Exactly. Watching that, just for a few seconds, made my whole day feel lighter.
I love those small, unexpected moments of joy. What about you? A moment that made you happy this week?
Actually, a similar kind of moment. I was sitting at a bus stop, and an elderly couple walked by, holding hands, laughing quietly about something only they understood.
That's so sweet.
It made me think that could be any of us one day, still laughing together after so many years.
A hopeful thought. Sometimes the smallest moments remind us of the biggest truths about life.
Beautifully said. Can I tell you something small that's happened to me this week? A tiny act of kindness from a stranger.
Please, I love these stories.
I was at the grocery store and I realized at the checkout that I didn't have enough cash and my card wasn't working for some reason.
Oh, that's stressful.
It was just for a moment. I was standing there, a little embarrassed dressed, trying to decide what to put back.
What happened next?
A woman behind me in line just quietly said, "Don't worry about it," and paid the difference before I could even really respond.
That's incredibly kind.
I tried to get her name or her number so I could pay her back, but she just smiled and said, "Just do something nice for someone else sometime."
That's such a lovely way to think about kindness. Not paying it back, but passing it forward.
Exactly. I've been thinking about it all week. Honestly, it changed the whole feeling of my day just from one small gesture.
Have you had a chance to do something nice for someone else since then?
A little. Yesterday, I helped an older man carry his bags up the stairs at the train station. Small thing, but I thought of her while I was doing it.
That's a nice little chain of kindness.
It really is. It makes me think that maybe the world runs a little more on small moments like that than we usually notice.
I completely agree. Small kindness quietly passed from person to person without anyone really keeping score.
Exactly.
Okay, your turn. Any small kindness you've noticed recently, either receiving it or giving it?
Actually, yes. Last week, I was fumbling with my bag, dropping papers everywhere on a windy street corner.
Oh no.
Papers flying everywhere, and I was just standing there, a little panicked, chasing them one by one.
Did someone help?
Two strangers, actually. From different directions, both just started grabbing papers out of the air without even asking.
Like a little rescue team.
Exactly like that. Within maybe 30 seconds, all my papers were back in my hands, and both of them just smiled, said, "Have a good day," and walked off in different directions.
No names, no thanks needed.
None at all. Just quiet, quick kindness, and then life continued on as normal.
I think that's what makes those moments so special, actually. No expectation of anything in return.
Completely agree. All right, let's continue with something a little lighter now. Let's talk about music for a moment. Do you listen to music while you work, or do you need silence?
I need at least a little sound in the background, otherwise the silence feels too heavy. What about you?
Same, actually. Usually something without words, just soft piano or gentle guitar, so it doesn't distract me from thinking.
What about when you're not working? Do you listen to music with lyrics then?
Constantly. Actually, I have a playlist I've been adding to for almost 10 years now.
Oh, 10 years? That's a long time to keep one playlist going.
It really is. Some of the songs on there remind me of a specific summer, a specific trip, even a specific person I haven't spoken to in years.
Songs really do work like that, don't they? Almost like a diary you didn't know you were writing.
Exactly. I'll hear one particular song, and suddenly I'm back in a car with old friends, windows open, driving nowhere in particular.
Do you remember the first song you ever truly loved?
I do, actually. It was a song my older brother used to play constantly in his room when I was a child.
Did he know you loved it too?
Not at the time. I would just stand outside his door, pretending I was doing something else, secretly listening.
Spying on your brother's music.
Exactly. Eventually, he caught me, and instead of being annoyed, he just opened the door and said, "Come in, listen properly."
That's a lovely memory.
It really is. What about you? Do you remember a song from your childhood that still means something to you?
Yes, a song my father used to sing while driving, badly, completely out of tune, but with so much energy.
Did you sing along?
Every single time, just as badly as him. My mother would just sit there shaking her head, pretending to be annoyed, but I could always see her smiling.
Family car rides really do create some of the strangest, warmest memories.
They really do. Okay, let's talk about something different now. Let's talk about seasons. Do you have a favorite one?
Autumn, definitely. Something about the cooler air and the changing leaves just feels calming to me.
What do you like to do in autumn specifically?
Mostly just walking outside, actually kicking through piles of fallen leaves like a child.
You still do that as an adult?
Every single year, without shame, there's something deeply satisfying about that sound, that crunch under your feet.
I completely understand that feeling. What else do you enjoy about autumn?
The smell, actually. That specific smell in the air, a little smoky, a little cold. It's hard to describe, but everyone seems to know exactly what I mean.
I know exactly what you mean. It's a smell that feels like change is coming, but in a peaceful way.
Exactly. What's your favorite season?
Spring, for me. I love watching everything slowly wake up again after winter.
What specifically do you enjoy about spring?
The mornings, mostly. Waking up to birds, singing outside my window after months of silence during winter.
Do you notice the difference immediately?
Almost overnight, it feels like. 1 week it's still quiet and cold, and then suddenly there's birdsong every morning and small green leaves appearing on the trees.
Nature really does have its own quiet calendar, doesn't it?
It really does. It doesn't need us to notice, but somehow when we do notice, it feels like a small gift.
Beautifully put. Let's talk about something else. Tell me about a teacher you remember clearly from school, good or bad.
Oh, easily. My art teacher from when I was around 12 years old.
What made her memorable?
She never told us our drawings were wrong. Even if a tree was purple or a house had no roof, she would just ask, "Tell me about your choice."
That's a very encouraging approach.
It really was. She made me feel like creativity didn't need to follow strict rules, and honestly, I think that lesson stayed with me far beyond art class.
Do you think that's part of why you paint now as an adult?
Definitely. I think a small part of her encouragement is still somewhere inside me whenever I pick up a paintbrush.
That's a lovely legacy for a teacher to leave behind. What about you? Any memorable teacher? Actually, my history teacher from high school, he had this habit of telling stories instead of just listing dates and facts.
What kind of stories?
He would describe historical events almost like they were happening right in front of us, with characters, tension, even humor sometimes.
That sounds like a much more interesting way to learn history.
It really was. Because of him, history stopped feeling like a boring subject and started feeling like one giant complicated story about real people.
Do you still remember any specific story he told?
Actually, yes. One about a small mistake in communication that accidentally changed the outcome of an entire battle centuries ago.
Oh, really? A simple mistake?
A simple mistake in delivering a message. He used it to teach us that history isn't only shaped by big decisions, but sometimes by tiny human errors too.
That's fascinating, honestly.
It's stuck with me. Even now, whenever something small goes wrong in my day, I remember that lesson, that small things can sometimes matter more than we expect.
Teachers really do shape us in ways we don't fully realize until much later in life.
Completely agree. Okay, one more topic before we start wrapping up. Let's talk about weekend plans. Hans, what does an ideal, relaxing weekend look like for you these days?
Honestly, nothing complicated. Saturday morning with slow pancakes, as we already mentioned, maybe a walk in the afternoon, and in the evening, a quiet dinner with a close friend.
No big trips, no big plans?
Not necessarily. I used to think a good weekend needed to be exciting, full of activities. Now I just want it to feel calm.
When did that change for you?
I think somewhere in the last couple of years. I realized I was spending my weekends exhausted, trying to fit in too many things, and by Monday, I felt like I needed another weekend just to recover.
That's a very relatable feeling.
So now, I try to plan less and just let the weekend happen naturally. What about you? Ideal weekend?
Similar, honestly. Maybe a slow breakfast sometime with my plants, a long walk somewhere new in the city, and in the evening, a good movie.
Do you ever get restless with such a quiet plan?
Sometimes, a little, but usually by Sunday evening, I feel genuinely rested, which is really what I need most.
I think a lot of us are slowly learning that rest doesn't need to be complicated or expensive.
Exactly. Sometimes the best kind of rest is simply doing very little on purpose.
Well said.
All right, let's slowly start moving toward the end of our conversation today.
Already, time really does fly when we're talking like this.
It really does. Let's do a gentle little recap before we finish.
Today we talked about mornings, coffee and tea, rainy days, childhood towns, old memories, favorite foods, movies, hobbies, neighbors, gratitude, and even a few embarrassing moments.
Just ordinary conversation about ordinary life.
But that's really the beauty of it, isn't it? Ordinary life, when you slow down and really look at it, is full of small, meaningful things.
I agree completely. Here is a small challenge for you listening right now, sometime today. Notice one small ordinary thing around you, something you usually ignore, and just really look at it for a moment.
Maybe a flower on your street, maybe the sound of your own kettle boiling, maybe a stranger's small kindness.
And if you feel comfortable, tell us about it in the comments. We would genuinely love to read your small story.
To everyone listening from Vietnam, Brazil, Japan, Indonesia, Egypt, Morocco, and everywhere else in the world, thank you for spending this time with us today.
We know your time is valuable, and we're grateful you chose to spend some of it here with us.
If you enjoyed this slow, calm conversation, please subscribe. We share a new episode like this every single day.
And remember, we're just two friends talking, Ethan and Mia. Nothing more complicated than that.
Take care of yourselves out there.
Be kind to yourself today.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.